Edgar Allan Poe's life wasn't an easy one. He was born on the 19th of January 1809, but in the first 3 years of his life, both his parents died, and he was taken in by the tobacco merchant John Allan and his wife in Virginia, while his brothers and sisters went to live with other families. Unfortunately, Edgar Allan Poe had no interest in the tobacco business, but actually he dreamt of emulating his childhood hero, Lord Byron, and become a poet. In 1826, Edgar went and attended the University of Virginia. He excelled all his classes, but at the same time, he accumulated considerable debt. Consider that at some point he was so poor that he had to burn his furniture just to keep warm. Trying to raise some money, Edgar took up gambling, but as you can imagine, that was not a solution. And after a few times, he was forced to drop out of school and go back home. Once home, he discovered that the girl he fancied was engaged to another man. And that news, along with his internal turmoil, made him want to just storm out and become a poet. He kept on living in poverty, but he started writing short stories, and one of those short stories won a contest sponsored by the Saturday Visitor. That was a turning point in Edgar Allan Poe's life, because it was exactly there at the Saturday Visitor that he started his stable job as a magazine writer. He soon developed a reputation. He was a fearless critic who not only attacked someone's work, he insulted the author and the whole establishment, and he went targeting some of the most important names of his time. At 27, Edgar Allan Poe finally found love. He married Virginia, who at the time was not even 40. The marriage proved to be a happy one, but the money was always tight. Edgar would write for many magazines, traveling from New York City to Philadelphia, but he couldn't get much money out of it. Consider that for his first book, The Tales of Grotesque and Arabesque, Edgar Allan Poe was paid just with 25 copies of his book. Things started to get better. The next year, he wrote 2 books. He even tried to buy his own magazine, the Broadway Journal, and his personal life was fine, but that didn't last long. Virginia's health started deteriorating, and in New York City, some rumors went around talking about Edgar Allan Poe having an affair with a married woman. All these things made him go away from New York City and live in a tiny cottage in the countryside. It was there, in this cottage, that Virginia died in 1847. That news was devastating for Edgar Allan Poe, and for a few months he wasn't even able to write. Some of his critics consider that maybe Edgar wouldn't survive much longer without her, and unfortunately they were right. He would just live another 2 years after that. He would give lectures, try to create a new journal that never really came to light, but that was it. And in 1849, Edgar Allan Poe died. The causes of that are still a mystery.